not going to bore you guys with any kind of preamble. Let's just get right into the books, shall we? Start off with some mass market paperbacks. First one is Dorsai by Gordon R. Dickson. I have stated before that I'm kind of trepidatious about getting into Gordon R. Dickson because I see his books all over the place in used bookstores and thrift stores. But I have heard some decent things about the Dorsai series. And so I picked up this old yellow spine daw, which are very collectible. I really like how those yellow spines look. This copy is very beat up, really discolored in a lot of places, has a bunch of nicks and scratches. But it's in fairly good reading condition otherwise, which is all I really care about. I do like the little bit of art that we get on it. Very cool looking. I also picked up some Edgar Rice Burroughs. I picked up this 90s paperback edition of The Return of Tarzan. I read Tarzan and the Tarzan of the Apes earlier this year, and I really enjoyed that book. I didn't like the ending so much. I thought it was kind of a rushed cliffhanger kind of ending, but otherwise, I really enjoyed that book. And so I wanted to get around to the second one soon enough. So yeah, Return of Tarzan. This is a Del Rey edition. I do think the cover art is kind of goofy. We got Jane, I think that's Jane hanging off of Tarzan there. It looks like someone just punched her in the mouth. She's bleeding out of her mouth. And to top it off, the camera is just angled right down her shirt. Oh, poor Jane. I also picked up some David Gemmell. Picked up King Beyond the Gate by David Gemmell. This is the second book to be published in his Drenai series. I don't think it's the second chronologically, but it is the second one that he published. So I think this is the next David Gemmell that I'm going to read. And I have read Legend. Read that earlier this year as well, and I thought that was awesome. That might actually end up being one of my favorite books from this year. So yeah, excited to read more David Gemmell. Now, I do plan on reading the Shannara series by Terry Brooks at some point this year. I have a hardcover annotated edition of Sword of Shannara, but I'm not a big fan of hardcover books. I like collecting them, but I always feel weird reading them. I always feel like I'm going to break them. And so I've been looking around for a reader copy, a paperback reading copy of Sword of Shannara. And so I picked it up in my latest trip to the bookstore. So I have this old paperback copy of Sword of Shannara with probably the most severe bow to a spine that I've seen in a long time. This book has been opened and closed many times. It has been very well loved. And I love that cover art by the brothers Hildebrandt. I remember seeing that cover art in the bookstore as a kid. And at the time, I was a big fan of the Disney movie, The Sword and the Stone, and of the Legend of Zelda series. I still love Legend of Zelda to this day. And seeing that cover reminded me of both those things. And I thought, oh man, I got to read that book someday. So it was good to finally add this book to the collection. I will get around to reading Sword of Shannara, if not next month, then the month after, probably. And speaking of the brothers Hildebrandt, I also picked up something that I had never even heard of before, and that was Ursharak. This is a novel by the brothers Hildebrandt and Jerry Nichols. I don't know who that is, but apparently he's a collaborator with them. So the painters, the brothers Hildebrandt, wrote their own fantasy novel with Jerry Nichols. And it is a novel, but it also has some really great pieces of art by the Hildebrandts. Full color illustrations. Oh my goodness, they are just, they're awesome. And when I picked this up at the bookstore, I was just staring at this book because there's all these awesome colored pieces, and it has some black and white pieces as well, I should say. But I remember I was in the bookstore just looking at this, and I had my mouth open like an idiot, and people were staring at me. Oh my gosh, look at this! This is crazy. I did look up some reviews, and a lot of people said that this book is very derivative of Lord of the Rings. But just from the artwork alone, I'm very interested in reading this. I don't know when I'll get around to reading it, but, oh man, it is a fantastic looking book. Ursharak. And lastly, I did a short about this late last week, but I also picked up this awesome hardcover copy of Poul Anderson's The High Crusade. Oh, and aside from this the sticker on the back cover, which I failed to remove entirely, it's in very, very nice condition. The inside of the jacket is a little discolored. I don't know how well that shows up on the camera, but it is a little discolored. But the book itself is still in fantastic condition. Oh, so cool. High Crusade. Jake from Pulp Mortem did a review on this book not that long ago. He said it was really great. So I will probably read this at some point next month. But yeah, as always, guys, let me know in the comments. Have you read any of these books? What did you think about them? And until next time, farewell and keep reading.